question is that the motion be agreed to. Andrew Little.
Mr Speaker, a great pleasure to take this final call for the year, and I want to begin, as the Leader of the House did, thanking all of those who make the operating of this House very important it is to the life of New Zealand to make it work and to keep it going. The first I'd like to acknowledge is, of course, the Clerk of the House, a chap known to us as David Wilson, and indeed to all the staff of the Clerk's office who do a tremendous job, not only in processing all the activity that goes on around here, but the advice that they give as well. Those looking after the table office, the bills office, Hansard, of course, who do invaluable work and pick up the odd difficult word as well and manage to get it absolutely correct. The interpretation and translation services, the select committee services who keep that tremendous amount of paperwork flowing and going, parliamentary relations, the policy, the legal education group, who are always a pleasure to bump into, particularly when they've got tour groups with them at the time. Those looking after the organisational performance and information services, all those in parliamentary services without whom this place would not function, and the security staff too, of course, who make our job and make this place safe and easy to get around. I want to thank Jim Robb and his team, the buildings team, and all the contractors, about whom I will say a little more later, who support buildings. I want to thank the Sergeant-at-Arms, who not only for lending Lindsay Tish their jacket just a short while ago, but Brent Smith and all those security staff too, who are in and out the building. And to thank Heather Daly and the tireless messengers and the work that they do. Can I thank the research experts, the Parliamentary Library, the Datacom team, without whom this place would not function. Actually, sometimes it doesn't function, but anyway, they're always there. They keep us connected, and sometimes our computer's working. The New Zealand Post staff at the post shop, and this may well be the last Christmas for those staff, but tremendous. And for those who are transacting the 3 transactions a day, you'll just have to go somewhere else. To the Epicure staff, whose quality of food rises by the day, and it's been fantastic. The spotless cleaning team who are here at those very difficult hours, and of course who deserve to be paid a living wage.
That's right.
Let me thank the General Manager of Parliamentary Service, David Stevenson, his team, especially Jane McKenzie and the relationship team. I want to thank and acknowledge my Chief of Staff, Matt McCartan, the Whip's Office Manager, Emma Williams, and the dedicated and talented team of Leaders Office staff, executive assistants, out-of-office parliamentary staff, and issues assistants who they take care of. Can I just tell you this story, Mr Speaker, that is illustrative of, I think, the note on which I end this year, which is a note of optimism. As I said before about buildings, there is another very important group who have been around the building, parliamentary buildings at least this year, which is the construction team from LT McGuinness, who are making perhaps the worst, leakiest building in the country waterproof yet again, giving us dry and healthy accommodation. We know them all. They gather around. I see them outside my 3rd floor office. There they are in their high-vis vests and what have you. What is most important is they will leave a lasting legacy in this House for the work that they do. But it's thanks to the actions of one of those men from LT McGuinness that, as I say, gives that air of optimism to me. I was at a meeting a couple of months ago getting one of the briefings from the head of one of our security agencies, an initiative actually that they undertook this year in fulfilment of their statutory obligations. And there we were looking at matters of great national sensitivity and security, and all of a sudden the head of the SIS who was briefing me threw her hands over the papers on the table and said, "Wait, is this place secure?" And we looked out on the balcony and there was one of the LT McGuinness men with his high-vis jacket on. As you all know, they've all got numbers on them, and there was the number, 007. Now, we established very quickly that it wasn't Daniel Craig, much to her disappointment, I'm sure, and we established that MI6 probably does not have a great deal of interest in the Leader of the Opposition's office in New Zealand. But here is the point, Mr Speaker. Here is the note of optimism. That after all the debate about the health and safety reform bill this year, all of our challenging the government, that this is not going to create the culture of health and safety. Here, at least, at the highest levels of the public service here in Wellington, we have a senior public servant who genuinely believes that were James Bond to ever make it to New Zealand to do his nefarious things, he at least would be wearing his high-vis vest. And on that note, sir, I want to thank all my parliamentary colleagues and wish them all a safe and relaxing summer break. And to you, Mr Speaker, and you frequently say to me, I have the worst job in Parliament. There are days when I have looked at you this year and thought, I am so glad to be the Leader of the Opposition. And so, to Mr Speaker, to you, I wish you all the very best and a relaxing summer break, a well-deserved one, and I look forward to seeing all my friends in this House next year. Yeah.